Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Football Friday edition, Morning Scone, presented by Brock. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, and Restored Motions and RestoredMotions.com. All right, everybody. Hope your Friday's off to a great start. So sorry I missed you yesterday let me rephrase. For those of you who missed us at this time on Thursday, apologies. I was speaking to the Sunrise Rotary Club, so thanks to them for the invite. And then after we left the Sunrise Rotary, I did an in-transit morning scone on the YouTube channel. So Facebook might have missed me yesterday. Apologies for that, but a good show. Good 15-minute car ride edition of Morning Scone. We'll get to say some good mornings here in just a second. It is a Football Friday, but LSU basketball won last night, probably their most convincing win. They beat UNO last night at the Maravich Center. So, Matt McMahon's 3-0 and kind of doing, I think, what he was supposed to. Last night, a 29-point win. It was 91-62. They're beating the bad teams that they scheduled. So, hopefully developing some consistency. Matt McMahon's learning about his team while they're playing for real. We're learning about this team. So, for the first time, Adam Miller did not lead LSU in scoring, only 7 points last night. It was Justice Hill who did with 12. He was 4 of 9 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. But they played a lot. I mean, LSU got it big, and they were able to play a lot of guys in this game. Forgive me, I said Hill led LSU in scoring. He did not. Derek Fountain, Mississippi State transfer, did, coming off the bench with 15 points in just 17 minutes. So, Cam Hayes, also the NC State transfer, had 13 points last night coming off the bench in 16 minutes. So, they got a lot of guys, a lot of minutes, which was good to see. Got to see some rotations, got to get a lot of people into the game. And LSU moves to 3-0. So, we'll keep our eye on the basketball Tigers. Obviously, everyone's really locked in on football with 2 regular season games to go and then the SEC championship. So these next 3 weeks should be a lot of fun. But the basketball team plays again against Illinois State on Monday. So they'll have the weekend off. All right, we'll say some good mornings here. Saints getting ready to play the Rams. LSU getting ready for UAB on Saturday. Let's answer some questions, say some good morning, see what y'all got. Kelly Gross, Todd Harris, Randy Dabdu, Kenneth Westbrook, Truax, Chase Pellegrin, David Coslin. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Dale Broussard, my man team, starting to show some chemistry. You sure? And they were also playing UNO. But yes, like the thing that I want to see, that's a good point. Like the thing that I want to see is them learning each other, learning how to play together, McMahon learning which combinations are best on the floor together, what his rotation is going to be, and have this team play a little more confident, playing confidently as they get toward conference play. I'll still maintain if this team approaches 500 in conference play, I think that would be a really big win for this team. If they can get, I don't think this is an NCAA tournament team. But if they can get to 500 in conference play, maybe win 18 games, or you take care of your business in the non-conference, you win 17, 18 games. I think that would be a really good start with this team. Just if you spell out, let's say they go 9-9 in conference. Okay, if they go 9-9 in conference, they've already won 3: Kansas City, Arkansas State, and UNO. That puts you 12. Illinois State, Wofford, Arlington, Wake Forest. Let's say NC Central, Winthrop, East Tennessee. I mean, that puts you right there at 18, 19 wins. I mean, I think that would be a solid year one if they're able to do it. Let's see. Wendell Norman, good morning. Stephen Jacobs, morning Scone. Missed you yesterday. Glad to have my normal routine back for Freezing Friday. Yeah, again, my apologies yesterday for those that we weren't able to catch up with. Sorry, we were a little later than normal. Brian Williams, morning Matt. Finally Friday, my dude. Going out there to make it a good one. Good. I love it, Brian. Get there, make it a good one. I love it. Trivia Carter, Cody Kibido. Morning Matt. I know this is speculation, but will there be that many high-profile transfers out of A&M? 500,000 is a lot of reasons to stay. So here, keep this in mind, Cody. Not every player got $500,000. Okay, not every player got 500K NIL, and that's not up front. I told y'all how a lot of that was structured. Where, if you got, it was essentially paid out over 4 years, with NIL payments coming from their collective each semester. So 8 payments, with each payment made 6 weeks into the semester. So the only way you get that money is if you stay. Well, there's something to be said for, well, if you go somewhere and you win and you play well, you'll have opportunities anyway. And if you're not planning on staying 4 years, well, you lop a quarter of that total dollar amount off anyway, right? So it'll be an interesting, listen, Cody, some people, some of these guys are just going to go where the money is. And some are going to make decisions that maybe they want to win. And that's okay. Episode 1700, by the way, today. No, I guess that's a milestone, right? 1700 consecutive days of Morning Scone. It's crazy. We're coming up on 5 years of Morning Scone without ever having missed a day. That's wild. So thank y'all for watching. Because if y'all didn't watch, I sure wouldn't be talking to myself in this room every day. And smash that like button if you would on YouTube. Jay Geiger, morning from North Dakota. Whew. I don't want to hear any complaints about the cold weather this week. How many LSU players do you see getting drafted this year? So by the way, Jay Geiger, you have made a conscious decision about living there in North Dakota, where you know it's going to be cold. We live in South Louisiana where it's not supposed to be cold, which is why we can complain about it. But, point taken. Players getting drafted, it's going to depend who enters the draft. Kayshawn, BJ Ojolari, I think will both be first-round picks. Then, I think you have to look at, Jay Ward will get drafted, and he's going to participate in senior day, so he's not going to come back for a 5th season. So Jay Ward will get drafted. You got to look at some of these super seniors. Will Jark Bernard Converse, will Mekhi Garner get drafted? I think they have an opportunity to. A guy like John Emery looks like he might be toying with the idea of coming back. He's not going to participate in senior day. So, what does Jaquelin Roy do? If Jaquelin Roy goes, he'll get drafted, but you sure hope he comes back. I think you'll end up with a handful drafted. But it really is going to depend on who leaves and who stays. Brad David, what do you think will happen with Jimbo this offseason? Nothing. He'll be back next year. I'll be very surprised if he's fired. Now, next year becomes very dicey if they continue this faceplant. Mike Prima, will LSU cover the spread against UAB? Mike, that's a stay-away spot for me, man. It's a stinky line. It's 8 o'clock at night. It's going to be cold. And I think LSU's going to win comfortably. But the thing you always worry about with that, Mike, is the backdoor cover. You empty the bench. It's late in the game. Do they put up some late scores? You know what I mean? So I stay away from games like that, man. Joseph Feltwell, even though we're in a bad spot, the Saints are wearing my favorite throwbacks. What do you think about them? Love them. I think the Saints are going to wear their throwbacks. They've only worn a couple of times, but it's the old gold pants, black jerseys with the white and gold stripes on the sleeves. The big fleur-de-lis on the helmet, I think they're gorgeous. I wish the Saints would adopt those as their permanent home uniforms. Brian Penn, morning, Matt from Des Moines, Iowa. It's a balmy 17 here. Oh, gosh. Devin Kelly, good morning. How's Adam Miller doing these first few games? Doing really well, Devin. He led LSU in scoring each of the first 2 games. The last night was the first game he hasn't led LSU in scoring, but boy, he can fill it up, man. He is a really good scorer and a dynamic player. It's good to see him back out there. But yeah, he's doing well. Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Arkansas defense created the blueprint for other teams to attack LSU's offense, or was a good linebacker play. So, and bad O-line play. So, Jesse, I think a couple of things. Excuse me. Arkansas didn't do anything LSU hasn't seen before, meaning they dropped 7 and sometimes 8 in coverage. We've seen teams rush 3 and 4 against LSU to play coverage and then try to flush Jaden. And the difference is Jaden's always just been able to make plays with his feet, and he wasn't in this game. A big part of that is Arkansas, when they did blitz and bring pressure, disguised it pretty well. And I did go back, by the way, I think I told y'all this after the game, that I wanted to watch the All-22 because I was really curious what was happening on the back end. And I think in some instances Arkansas did win matchups. In others, I think Jaden was indecisive with the football. Probably the worst game he's played this year. That's okay. I mean, everybody's going to play their best game and worst game of the year at some point. But, for example, like when Arkansas would disguise a blitz, Jaden would have an outlet, and he wouldn't make that his first read. He would go through his progressions. Whereas, for example, you had a running back or a tight end as a quick route outlet, or even a wide receiver. There were times where that was open and the blitz was coming. Instead of just dumping it and getting what you can, he tried to elude the blitz and step up and would go down. So I think it was a lot of things that contributed. And I'm pretty sure what they'll work with him to do next time he sees that is find your outlet. Sorry, y'all. Larry Gardner, Jason H., Tim Gotro. Bad News Birds won back-to-back. Zion was at the LSU game showing sport. That was cool that Zion was there last night. Blake Gregory, good morning. Kyle Vaughn, Pat Houston, good morning. Julia Kaolelopono, good morning, and go Tigers. Julia, am I nailing the pronunciation? I hope so. I think I got it. Kaolelopono. I think I got it. Weston Weaver, what's up? Troy Aber. Morning, Matt. Where do you get the sound of Dennis Allen's conference call? I'm not aware of it being available to the public. I'm only talking about the conference call, not the press conference. The Saints make the is that not available on their website? If it's not available on their website, so Musso is the one that cuts all the audio for the show. So I'm certain that they would make a Dropbox link available to the media that aren't able to be on the call. Hey, Pat Huseman's going on the Bourbon Trail. Okay, man. Enjoy it. Blake saw a video on Twitter this morning of Mike Hollins walking, made my day. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, man. God, what a story, huh? And Ross Dellinger has a really nice feature up at SI. I'd encourage you to go read. It's about Mike, who apparently ran back on the bus after the shooting started, and to try to help save people, and got shot in the back. But 2 surgeries, he's already taken steps. His recovery has been pretty remarkable. So definitely continue to pray for Mike's recovery, and certainly, pray for the families of those that are grieving. Donovan Peterson, LOL at RC. Yeah, if you missed RC yesterday, his Harold Perkins commentary was pretty good, to say the least. Reed Rule, happy Friday, Matt. Are the roster implications for the Purple and Gold World Series? Are there roster implications for the Purple and Gold World Series as far as final cuts or our roster set? Oh, no, they still have to cut. Yeah. Yeah, they are over the roster limit. So there will be another purge coming, and I hate to say it that way, but I think everyone understands what I mean. Like, there's going to be hey, you probably need to go. You're not going to make the team. You probably have to go find a place to play. So, I do think. Troy Hebert, starting center, being out didn't work out last night. Did you bet? I did bet. I did, so lost last night. So Mike Angle lost. Like I said, it's about 80-85%. Not 100%, but won with it on Sunday. Won with it plenty of times this year, as a matter of fact. So, but yeah, lost last night. But interesting, Troy, even, with that being the angle, that I played, Jimmy Ott gave the Packers. Paul Nolan had a slight lean to the Packers. Basically, everybody I heard had a lean to Green Bay, and it made sense for a lot of reasons. Shorthanded Tennessee, short week on the road. Green Bay coming off a comeback win against Dallas, maybe getting some mojo. Didn't work out last night. But Colucci, his hockey picks went 2-1. So I always tell you got to listen to Jimmy's show at 6:30 when Colucci goes on there, because he'll text Jimmy the picks for the games that start at 6 so he can give them out on AFR. But then for the late games, he gives those picks out on Jimmy's show. And he gave Winnipeg, and so Colucci had a win tonight. Jimmy gave you Tulane, which obviously that was a rocket share cover. Tulane did awesome. And I feel like there was something else that I'm missing. Oh, the under did not hit in the game last night as well. So, yeah, not a great night. But if you listened to Colucci and you played Jimmy's Tulane pick, then you probably broke even or maybe ended up a few units up, because one of Colucci's pick was like a plus 135 play or something like that. Brad David, was Derek really the reason you got on Twitter? So when Panamsky was working in 2012, I was Twitterless Matt Moscona. I was not on Twitter yet, and I didn't understand the point or the value of Twitter. I was like, who cares what people think, and just spouting off like what's happening in your day. Didn't know, didn't care. And so Panamsky and Jordy, and they were not doing a show together yet, by the way. Panamsky was doing Sports Today with Hanny and Ott, and he's the one. Panamsky's the one that really pushed me to get on Twitter, and was my first follower. Yeah. So Brad's alluding. So I put this on Twitter so there was this trending topic last night, like RIP Twitter. So a lot of Twitter employees. Apparently, Elon Musk, who bought Twitter, sent an email to employees saying, hey, get ready to work, to be hardcore, to work. And if you're not, then you probably need to leave. And so, like, half the Twitter employees had quit. So anyway, they shut down the Twitter offices until Monday, basically. So a lot of people were going, oh, my God, is this the end of Twitter? It was very Twitter being Twitter. So people were, like, saying their farewells to Twitter last night. So I was like, well, if this is it, shout out to Derek Panamsky, who got me on Twitter in 2012 and was my first follower. So, anyway, so yeah, Derek's the one that pushed me to get on Twitter. Thomas Lamont, how many times have we actually seen teams lay out a blueprint to stop a team? I don't put much stock into it. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Thomas. Sometimes you have a really good plan and it works, and other teams may try to copy it, but then you have to adjust, right? I mean, you not only adjust in your game planning, but you have to adjust in-game as well. And maybe that's something else you didn't do great this past week. All right, y'all, smash that like button if you're there on YouTube, Facebook. Please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Let's see. Boom, where am I? Ooh. John Bro, morning, Matt. Glad BTJ cleared concussion protocol. Brian Thomas, yes. Hoping Seven Banks will be back against A&M. I don't know if Seven is back that he plays much, but the good news is Seven Banks looks like he's coming back next year, which is significant because you need cornerback help. Because you were losing Jark Bernard, Converse, Mekhi Gardner, Colby Richardson. Your top three guys this year are all gone. And the two guys, Demarius McGee, Radarius Jones, who were returning, they haven't played at all this year. I think they're both suspended or ineligible or whatever. And then you sign two freshmen with Terrence Welch and the kid from Louisiana, from Lafayette Christian Academy, LC. I don't remember. Anyway, So you need cornerback, and you need veteran corners as well. Stephen Dufour, Todd Harris, do you feel like LSU will show up focused, take care of business against UAB? I do, Todd, especially defensively. And this is not a complicated game defensively. It's see-ball, hit ball. So they're going to line up and try to run it at you. They don't throw it. Jordan Allen, thank you. Thank you, Maximus. Jordan Allen, thank you. Is the cornerback from LCA. I think defensively, LSU's fine in this game. Ryan, Amanda, Guidry, Lowell, Cormier, what's going on? Kelly Presley, plenty of chicken broth in North Dakota. Chase Pellegrin, thank you for doing these the past 5 years. Great way to start the day. You got it. Thank you for watching. Bubba Smith, what's up? Robbie White, good morning. Let's see. A week ago, I thought LSU was locked for the CFP if they won out. Now I think we're left out if we squeak by A&M and Georgia. Robbie, listen, man. My stance has been pretty consistently, I don't think LSU's a lock if they beat Georgia. They're going to need some help. What you really need is TCU to lose. So, because Michigan or Ohio State is going to lose, and if TCU could lose this week to Baylor on the road, that would be massive. Maybe it's a spot, big emotional letdown after the win at Texas, and maybe this is where they finally stub their toe. But I think if LSU's in the 4 and then beats Georgia, they're in. If they're outside and need to displace someone on the backs of that win, I think that's way, way tougher. Bob Poole, Jared Termine. I thought RC hates LSU. Reagan Lee, what do you think about Jaden coming back or not? He'll have an interesting decision to make. I don't know definitively. What I'm telling you is what I've always said, that I know his intention coming out of high school was always to be 3 and done. And when he came here, it wasn't with the intention of staying here multiple years. It was play a year and go pro. But I think you have something you could sell to him to say, hey, man, come back, increase your draft stock. He's a young guy, even for a fourth-year player. He's 21. So, well, let me rephrase it. He'll turn 22 December. I didn't realize he was a December birthday. So I thought he just turned 21. No, so he'll turn 22 in December, which means then he would be 23 when he goes to the league, which is what Burrow did. But, you have something you could sell him. Come back, increase your draft stock, play on a title contender, maybe win a Heisman. Your NIL value would most certainly go up, all that stuff. Jeff McKithen, 1,700, awesome. You got it, man. 1,700 episodes today. Craig Duga, win and win. I'll stick by that. Craig, you need help, man. I mean, if the only team in the top 4 and Tennessee, top 5 to lose is Michigan, Ohio State, I don't think you're getting in, man. So you're going to need a little more help. I think they'll be in over, I think 2-loss LSU's in over 1-loss USC. By the way, I think USC loses this weekend. I think UCLA beats USC this weekend. I think last week was a look-ahead spot for UCLA. They were looking ahead to the USC game, and they got popped by Arizona at home. I think USC loses on Saturday to UCLA. Matt, if LSU goes 10-3 with a loss to Georgia, what bowl game does LSU get? Yeah, so it's not that cut and dried. It really depends what happens with the playoff. I have a video on the AFR LSU YouTube channel kind of explaining that, like the best and worst case. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I'll post it. Dag nabbit. I think this is it, the path to the playoff. I think this is it. It was kind of like what you need to have happen, but then also like where LSU would go. I'm going to post this. I think this is it. But the long story short is if let's say Georgia and Tennessee both make the playoff, and then LSU goes either sugar or orange, the highest ranked SEC team not in the playoff goes to the Sugar Bowl. And very likely this year, because I don't think there's going to be a Big Ten contender ranked high enough, because Michigan or Ohio State, the winner is going to go to the playoff, the loser is going to the Rose Bowl. So there's not another Big Ten team to go fill the Orange Bowl slot against the ACC. So it would likely be an SEC team. So if LSU loses to Georgia, goes to 10-3, who would be ranked higher? 2-loss Bama, 3-loss LSU. That's the question. And the worst case scenario for LSU would be Georgia beats LSU, Georgia makes the playoff. Tennessee's left out, so Tennessee goes sugar. LSU as a 3-loss team falls below Bama. Bama goes orange, LSU goes citrus. That's a worst case for LSU. Blake, thoughts on Sankey saying SEC is leaning towards no divisions of pods? Blake, he said that at SEC Media Days. Like the guy who put that out as breaking news yesterday, that's not breaking news. Like we knew they were going away from divisions. Like that's the only questions that really remain are how many games are they going to play? Are they going to go to a 9-game schedule? And are you going to keep permanent opponents? I mean, that's the staying away from divisions and pods. We knew that already. Like we knew they weren't going to do the 4-pod system. It was just a matter of like, our team's going to have their like permanent opponents still and then rotate the rest of the league or how they structure it. But we knew they weren't doing divisions. So the guy who said that was breaking news yesterday, that's like he was just very off on that. That's not breaking. That's literally been something that's been written about since the spring. Let's see. Georgia will still go to the playoff even if LSU beats them. I agree with that, Caleb. 100%. Georgia finishes 12-0 and goes to the SEC championship even if they lose their end. Happened last year. Georgia was number 1 last year, lost in the SEC championship to Bama. Bama and Georgia both got in. Brant Roban, my birthday, Scone, officially in my late 30s. There you go, Brant. Happy birthday, man. Hope it's a great day for you. Oh, you're right here. Sorry. Hope it's a great day for you, Brant. Enjoy it, man. All right, I gotta go. Y'all, Drew's backpack's beeping. It's 8 o'clock. I gotta get him to school. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Thank you as always for watching. LSU Daily is live, so on your favorite podcast app, please go download LSU Daily and subscribe. And we'll have AFR3. Y'all have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. Peace.